Entitled parents, I saved your son's life, police? Arrest him. HistoReddit. Welcome to our entitled parents. We are arrogant parents who call people who save their children's lives for a reason murderers. I never thought I'd be sharing this here, but it happened recently, about a week ago. I'm about to graduate from high school and I have a job at the supermarket, packing produce and arranging merchandise, among other tasks. I'm still shaken, and decided this would be a good place to share my experience. That day, it was raining heavily, so there were hardly any people in the store. I was sorting out misplaced products and relaxing since there was little to do. An overbearing father and his son entered the store, but I didn't pay much attention to the woman, as she had an attitude that I didn't like. I tried to mind my own business and do my job. She grabbed me and rolled her eyes, mumbling something about lazy teenagers, even though she knew I had a job. She rudely asked me without a please or any kind of politeness where the drinks were. I pointed her down the hall, and she exclaimed in a loud voice, "Excuse me, are you going to take me there or what? Walk with me now or I'll talk to the manager. That's what you get paid for." I just waved and said nothing, then led her over to where the drinks were. She didn't say thank you or anything like that, she just scoffed and pushed me away. While I was fixing some things that had fallen on the floor, I saw the authoritative son climbing on the shelf where the drinks were. I politely warned him that he could get hurt, but his mother reacted aggressively. She started screaming and insulting me, calling me an idiot and stuff. She threatened to fire me, saying she knew the manager. She told me to step aside and continued buying wine while her son continued to climb the shelf. I got more and more anxious as I watched it. While the mother was busy, I approached the boy and politely asked him to come down, explaining the danger. He started crying and called his mother. She came running over and started yelling at me, insulting me and accusing me of trying to hurt her son. I explained that she was trying to protect him, but she kept threatening me and calling me a murderer. At that moment, the boy jumped hard and everything started to shake. I ran and pushed him away, preventing him from getting hurt. That's when all the drinks fell to the floor, causing great damage. I ended up cutting myself badly during the incident. The boy was crying, probably because I pushed him, and the mother started screaming uncontrollably, saying that I tried to kill her son. I replied that I actually saved his life as he could have been seriously injured by the shards of glass. My thigh was bleeding and she grabbed my arm tightly, accusing me and calling the police a murderer. The police arrived and were about to be escorted out when the manager came running. I explained everything to him because we've known each other since elementary school and he knows I'm not a cruel child killer. He told me that everything was recorded on camera, which relieved me a lot. The overbearing father turned pale, but he still insisted on making accusations against me, demanding that I be arrested for assaulting his son. The police reviewed everything and even a witness confirmed what happened. The store manager decided to file a complaint against her as well, as she caused over $5,000 in damages by breaking several bottles of expensive liquor. This story reminds me of a real historical event. There was an ancient queen of Siam named Sunanda Kumaratana. This queen was drowning, but no one helped her because she was afraid to touch her as it was against the law. She ended up drowning while the guards just watched. Unfortunately, that's what this overbearing mother wanted to happen. She preferred people to just stand by and watch the danger unfold before her eyes. The main story I mentioned earlier involves a little girl named M. I babysit her, even though I don't care about her mother and spend most of my time with her. M is 8 years old, and I am 23. Her mother is single and takes care of her with lots of love and protection, as M was born with some kind of immune problem. M cannot attend a regular school due to her condition, but she has a private tutor. She can't play much with other kids her age, but her mother trusts me to take care of her. Mom calls me Nanny because I used to work with her in a coffee shop, where I learned the story of M. Returning to the main story, they live in an apartment without a parking lot or park. I was going out with M at night to play Pokemon when I noticed that she was looking out the window a lot. She had never seen snow before, and her favorite Pokemon is Glaceon. We decided to go during the day when there are less people around due to work and school. We explained the idea to her mother, and this sweet little girl burst into tears of joy. The day came, and we were playing outside. We disinfected everything. I put on my snow scarf and my snowboard goggles to protect her face and keep her mask in place. She loved the idea, and we agreed to do it. However, during our fun, we were interrupted by an overbearing father and his son. They approached us, and the father said that his son was sick and could not go to school that day. He asked if his son could play with M. M's mother was worried that she might also get sick, as she has a fragile immune system. I explained this to the overbearing parent, but he just scoffed at us. He said that sick children are healthier children as they become stronger. He insisted on letting his son play with M. We argued about it, but ended up agreeing to let the son play. However, during the game, he started spitting and vomiting, leaving M and I shocked. Also, he stole my towel turban. I politely asked him to return it, but he refused. I called the gym coach to intervene. He looked between the three of us and found the towel turban in the overbearing boy's bag. The father and son began to cry and complain, saying it was harassment. Coach was uncomfortable, but he took the turban and handed it back to me. However, as I did so, the overbearing mother saw my social worker ID and began threatening to take the M away from me. She said she had the authority to do that. It was a tense moment, but the coach realized the situation and decided to check their bag. We found my wet turban inside the overbearing boy's bag. He tried to take it back, but the trainer stopped him. The mother began to cry and hugged her son, saying that everything would be fine. In the end, the situation was resolved, but the episode left me shaken. These stories show how some authoritarian parents can be difficult to deal with. They have twisted logic and often treat people with disrespect. It is important to remember that each person is responsible for their own actions, and we should treat others with kindness and respect, regardless of their differences or opinions. I thank the strangers who supported me in these situations, and I thank you for reading my story to the end. I apologize for the censorship, but it's necessary so I can share my experience without violating channel guidelines.